Fear stops us from achieving our true greatness. Are you a professional woman who is feeling stuck, unmotivated, or burned out? Are you worried about your wellness? Are you letting fear stop you from crushing your goals? If you answered yes to any or all of these, then this is the podcast for you. Dr. Charmaine Gregory, night shift emergency physician, burnout thriver, and wellness champion, along with everyday heroes just like you, will explore how to face fear in our lives and emerge victoriously.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get notified when the next video comes out. It only takes 2 seconds to make 2 clicks. So let's do it. Let's get back to the video.
Hello, Fair Student Family. Welcome to another week and welcome to the show. Today we have Coach Sarah Smith, and she is going to tell you all about who she is and what she is up to.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm Sarah Smith. I'm a family physician in Canada, and I'm also a coach for physicians. I help physicians with their charting and paperwork. So yeah, that's me. And do you want me to elaborate?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they would definitely want to hear like what you're up to. I mean, that's pretty intriguing. The fact that, because there are a lot of physicians that do listen to the show, and you know, we have physicians in Canada listen to the show too. So I'm sure they're probably, you know, their ears have been, you know, perked up and they're curious about that. Like, so how did you get into this? Like, what is the deal? And how are you helping people?
For sure. So I was a family physician for 15 plus years and really struggling to have evenings and weekends free. So that's really what my pain point was. I was unable to let my husband know like what time I would be home in the evenings because of all of the paperwork and administration burden that goes with physician work. So I really started to be curious about how to get help. And the only people, like I asked all my mentors, and the only kind of response was, come in on Sundays. And that's how you get your paperwork done. And I'm like, nope, that's not looking good to me. Or at that time, the physician coaches were saying, you can leave medicine, I can show you how. And I'm like, I don't want to leave medicine either. I actually love my patients, but I hate the paperwork and the administration burden. And then I came across life coaching. So I used a general life coach to help me improve my practice and get my evenings and weekends free, what I would call freedom. For me, that was my freedom. But then I wanted to help my colleagues and friends and physicians to have this for themselves as well. So with all this free time I created, I went back to school. I went and became a certified life coach. And then I was specific in the area of charting and paperwork, administration burden, improving clinical spaces, clinical day, office efficiency. I've been active in this role within my clinic, and a lot of physicians listening will understand this, that improvement facilitator physician, the one who's really keen to help systems and processes do better and better so that physicians are doing physician work and not the non-physician work. So allowing that space where physicians become physicians doing physician work and getting today's work done. So that's what I've been doing. I've been spending time learning how to simplify getting home with everything done. And that is what I do. So now
Oh my gosh. I know people, okay guys, ladies, men, I'm just going to give Sarah a hug right now. If you're watching the video, you can see me like hugging her. OMG. What she just said was like mind-blowing, because there is so much that is not medicine that we are charged to do. And it definitely plays a role in our job satisfaction. And a lot of us really all we want to do is just take care of patients, help patients. And then the extra stuff we're not really interested in. So Thank you for doing that. Thank you for stepping into that role. Thank you for helping colleagues to be able to be more efficient and have more time to spend with their families. And it's funny that you like said that what you said earlier. You mentioned that when you first were seeking assistance, you were met with, oh yeah, hey, let me show you this pathway away from medicine. And that maybe that's some people's jam. I get that, but
Yeah.
a lot of people don't want to leave medicine. They just want to be more efficient. They want to be able to do it and practice it essentially on their terms, which is, these days can be a little complicated. So thank you for stepping up and going and getting the extra training so that you can serve in this manner because, man, it is needed. And I don't know the situation in Canada. I mean, I have some colleagues who are docs in Canada, but the situation in the States definitely is it's at a fever pitch, no doubt. When it comes to the amount of what I like to call clerical work that doctors are having to do, it's kind of like really crazy. So, but you tend to essentially figure out workarounds, whatever you maybe you dictate as you're going, or maybe you have a scribe or something, but in the end, it's good to have a good solid system that's going to help you to be able to leave work at work and then be able to have family life when you get home, because that right there, that's a true balance. Because man, oftentimes that work part, it keeps like dripping into the family side like a lot, depending on what you do as your specialty.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us, like, okay, so you figured this out. You went back to life coach school, right? And then where did you find a place to learn about? Was life coach school where you learned about the process efficiency skill sets? I mean, like, where did that part come from?
Great
I didn't
question.
even know that was even I didn't know that was a thing, like that there was even like a place you could go and learn that.
So there wasn't.
Oh,
So
okay, got it.
I went to general life coach training, and I used a general life coach because life coaching can help with any problem. So if you get the right coach, you can actually say, here's the goal I want to achieve, and you work your way towards that goal. So we've got a lot of physician coaches now who can help you achieve any goal that you want. But I'll tell you, my journey to go from not being reliable in my ability to get home to getting home with everything done was an 18-month process with a life coach and a lot
Okay.
of money because I
I'm
had
glad
to.
that you said that. I'm glad you said that because people are thinking, oh, it's gonna happen kind of like Thanos, like right like that.
So the process for me, because there wasn't any charting coaches in the world, I became the person I needed. So that was the journey, was to become a coach and also distill the knowledge that I'd learned over 18 months so that physicians, when they come and work with me, can get those results a lot faster and for a lot less dollars.
Nice,
So I
nice.
did the hard work of training my brain to help me be resourceful in my clinic. And then as I worked with physician after physician after physician, I got good at helping them with their position, like where they are in the world. And that's how you become good at something. So it takes constant repetition with lots of different physicians doing lots of different clinical situations and backgrounds in order to distill this knowledge of, oh, this is how you do it. This is how you
Nice,
get everything done. And so it is really that process of becoming the first one.
nice, nice, nice. Wow, wow. And so, okay, here's my question now. So you did this. You basically created something that wasn't available, which I think is fantastic. Love that. And then then how did you like, so how did you get over, because I mean, there had to be some fear involved, right? I mean, there had to be fear involved when in any of these steps, like the first step when you said, okay, even the step of getting a coach, there's a lot of fear people have around that because they're like, I don't know, I'm asking for help. Most of us, not all of us, but most of us, we're kind of like, I don't want to say, maybe self-star is a good, or we're driven. of us are pretty driven because I mean, yeah, it takes a lot of drive to basically go through the whole medical training process and then actually start practicing medicine. So you're this person who is driven, you're used to like, achieving at a high level, and then now you're in a position where you're asking for help. Sometimes there can be a lot of fear associated with that because you're just kind of like, man, I'm supposed to be the one that knows what to do. Why is it like, how can I be in this place where I'm asking for help? How did you have fear around that, and how did you deal with that?
Sure, yeah. So first of all, I think I had to be in enough pain to go looking for the answers. So I think that was really what overcame my fear and was brave enough to sign with a life coach was this is hurting me.
Mm,
I had those same thoughts. I should be better at this by now. I shouldn't have to ask for help. I've been doing this for how many years, right? 15 years of
yeah,
being a
yeah,
family.
yeah.
I should know how to get home by now, right? Something's wrong with me. I think is a big fear that we have. There's something wrong with me. And then the life coach says, I can help fix any problem. And I'm like, no, you can't. You don't understand how big this is. This is enormous. I'm in pain and I want something different for myself. But my why was big enough. Why did I want this? I did not want to do it later. I did not. I was over later. This was like an ultimatum to my brain. We either figure this out or we've got to leave. That was what I was thinking at the time. And so she said, I can fix any problem. And I'm like, okay. So I did the good thing and spoke to husband and said, can I invest in this to get, and he's like, well, of course you can, because I want you home. I want you enjoying your family. I want you enjoying your weekends. Like, go ahead. Like, I'm like, why did I even ask for permission? But I get it. So many of us do. We ask our wise people in our lives, they're like, can we do this? And they're like, or maybe, or yes, or no. But anyway, the decision is yours because you're the one who actually has to go and do the work. So the process of becoming a new person, it's a huge change. You've got to say, I am committed to this. I am determined that I want this result for myself. And then having the courage to sign up with a life coach or the courage to start your journey. You don't know where you have no idea how you're going to get there. All you know is where you want to be. So you've got that future focus of, I want to be home with everything done. Point your bum in the right direction and step towards it in courage, knowing that you're going to absolutely fall on your face over and over, and you're going to fail. And failing in the coaching world, success or failure is perfect because it means you're taking steps. The one thing you don't want to do is quit. And the other thing that doesn't get you anywhere is wishing. I wish I could get home on time. That's just quitting ahead of time. That means you're not going to take any steps. You're just waiting for someone to come along with a magic wand. You don't want to do any of the hard work. I wish I could run 5K or magic wand, or you sit on the couch, just quitting ahead of
Yes.
time.
Those are magical words. Those are magical words. Wow. Yes. I wish is like, wow. I wish is like already quitting. Oh.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are getting these pearls. I really do. Wow. Wow. Yeah, no, it's funny how we tend to think, where we sit there, we kind of ruminate on how we want to be different, how we want to change, but we fail. We forget that there is a process in everything that is new, every skill that is learned, there is a process. And that process can sometimes include failing, right? Quote unquote, which means, like, okay, it didn't work out the first time, but doesn't mean you actually failed. It's just a learning process, right? Because now, okay, maybe that path is not the correct path and we do it a little bit differently, but on the same path, so it's just an adjustment period. And, if we think back to when we learned to walk, we didn't have these barriers at that time. We were like, it was expected that we're going to be like on our butt more than we were on our feet. Like that's just expected. And every time we fall, we didn't just like sit down there and like, oh my God, I'm not going to get up again. No, you got right back up and you like waddled your way to the next few steps until it became an automatic process. And so, I think a lot of times as adults, we forget that. we forget that every single time that we're honing a skill or we're honing a new, we're trying to rewire some things inside the brain, that it does take time. And so I'm so happy that you mentioned your journey, because you mentioned that your journey wasn't like, hey, I had this epiphany. My pain point got me to that point where I was just kind of like, you know what, this is ridiculous. I have to do something. So you had that epiphany. Then you said, okay, I got to take action. But then it wasn't like you said, oh, I think that this is going to have to happen like right away. You had an expectation that it's going to take some time. And I think that is the biggest thing that people always tend to forget, because we all think, because we live in this like, what do they call it? Instant gratitude kind of society. Like,
Yeah.
we have these supercomputers at our fingertips, and, like we do something and we expect the person to text us back right away or whatever. Like, we think everything should happen like, in a snap. And I was joking about the Thanos thing, but yeah, I mean, we think like, like everything should happen in a snap, and we don't always remember that to get to lasting change, to get to something that is going to be completely meaningful and very impactful, it takes like baby steps. It takes some time. And so I love that it took 18 months. I mean, I'm sure that it was 18 months of your life that were filled with some challenges, because there's no like, you didn't have a testimony if you didn't have a test, right? So I'm sure you had multiple tests in there that were forging your character, that were, completely remodeling you. And that is just so fantastic. So I really appreciate that you shared that, because I think that is the one thing that people don't always talk about. They show like, hey, this is me before, and now this is me, and I'm like, felt, but they don't talk about like, all the days when you just didn't want to get up and work out, or didn't talk about the days when you were struggling with, eating the correct foods your body needs to be, to have the fuel it needs, or it didn't talk about, getting to a plateau and having to work through that plateau because you needed something else to kind of boost your body to the next level. Like, people don't talk about that. They show themselves in the chubby state, and then they show themselves in the not chubby state, and they make it seem like it was a straight line from point A to point B, when really it's usually like, all over the place, like this random chaotic process and path to get there, and it takes time. So I really appreciate that you mentioned that, because I think people really need to hear that.
Yeah.
Not like, boom, and you're there.
Correct. Absolutely. So important. So I have an analogy, and it really helps people understand kind of the process. So think of a 2-lane highway, and you want to make it a 3-lane highway. Think of all the roadworks that have to happen. So what you're going to do is take your 2-lane highway, you're going to close one of the lanes, and you're going to destroy it, and you're going to recreate 2 lanes so that everything goes faster at the end, right? So it's going to slow down. It's going to feel really uncomfortable. It's going to feel unfamiliar. You're going to get a little slower before you get faster. And it's all okay. Nothing's gone wrong. You're building a new way of thinking. You're building a new way of doing things. You're building a new skill set. It's slower so that you can go faster.
That's a fantastic analogy. Wow. No, that is like, wow, because no, that's good. So the pain, I mean, understand that there will be some pain, and understand that things will be slower, right? Because we're not used to that. And then in the end, things are going to be fast. Oh, I love it. Love it. It's a fantastic analogy.
Like building a business, oh man, you're so clunky when you start learning a new language. All the things that are required to make a business. And then you're in the middle of it thinking, what's going wrong? What am I doing right? Is any of this ever going to work? And then boom, business. You're like, oh, we made it through all of the steps to get there.
Oh, I like that one, because that's the one that like is constantly my world. I'm like, oh, okay, here we are. What's going on? Oh, let's see something else. Okay, all right, fine. It's all good. It is all good. Wow. Super cool. So now you have to tell people how they can reach out to you, how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah. So if they're a physician, or even if they're a healthcare provider of any sort, like nurse practitioner, they head to my website, which is chartingcoach.ca, and they can find free masterclass there. They can email me through that, and that's how they get to work with me.
Awesome. Fantastic. I'm sure you're going to get several people reaching out to you as a consequence of this conversation because, man, like I was saying, I basically feel like this is something that's needed. And so people are definitely going to be reaching out for it because who doesn't want to be able to have work be at work and then actually be home with family and just be able to focus on that when home. So thank you for the work that you do. That is absolutely necessary and needed. So really appreciate it. Absolutely. So now tell us, how have things been since, okay, how long have you been doing it?
Sorry,
I think we shared that. How long have you been doing being a charter coach?
Oh, since 2018.
Yeah. Okay, since 2018. So it's been a while now that you've been doing this. And then have you, so you've been doing this for a little bit. And then what are some of the things that you have come across? Like, have there been new fears now that you've had to overcome since you've been doing this? Because I mean, we did the big, the fear of like, okay, I need to ask for help, and then going and having to create your own pathway, and then now you've been doing it for a number of years. So have you come across new things, new obstacles, new fears that you're having to deal with?
Sure, of course. So, of course, walking into the world of business was totally new for me. So putting together the Charting Champions program for October last year is when we launched that, which is the program for physicians. That was terrifying to be able to show up in the world and create a space for hundreds of physicians to be able to get home with their charting done. And so that was a massive fear, and how to launch and how to do webinars and how to show up on social media, like all of that, terrifying, absolutely terrifying. So all of those fears. Right now, I am in the process of putting together Smarter Charting, which is the program for healthcare providers. So this is the nurse practitioners or physician assistants or other allied health who are also having trouble with their charting. So this has been an idea baby for a while, and now it's becoming the new next program that I'm putting together. So that petrified, again, terrified. It's like, wow, okay, here we go again. Put ourselves out there, be brave, be courageous, know that I'm not going to quit. Like, they need this. It's not about me. I know I have the skills for them. I can help them. I have to put it together so it's ready to go. And it's going to be the most amazing space for them. I just know, don't quit, succeed and fail. All of that's fine. Be brave, be courageous, and go. And terrified at the same time.
Do it scared, but do it. No, that's awesome. That's exciting. So essentially you're expanding. So you initially started out with just the docs, and then now you are doing the allied professionals as well. So that's fantastic. Yeah. Kudos on the expansion, because I know that's always a moment when you kind of start seeing, like, even within your own business, the process issues, like, okay, I need to get that in place too. Didn't think I needed it, but now I do. So no, that's fantastic. Absolutely great. Congrats. Cool. So everybody's gonna reach out to you at thechartingcoach.ca, correct? All right, awesome. And then you have so is the previous program that you ran last fall, is that going to be like another version for 2021 or no?
Okay, so Charting Champions program is open all the time. You can come.
Oh, it's ongoing. Okay.
It's a lifetime access program for physicians.
Okay, great. Because I think they need to know that, because I guess I had the impression that it was like a one-time thing. So that's fantastic. That's rolling admission. So that's a great resource. And then the new program that you're starting for the allied professionals, that's also going to be rolling as well. That's going to be
that is a membership. Yeah. So they can
it's membership. Okay.
They can stay as long as they need to. Yeah, correct.
Okay, fantastic. Great. I hope that the Philip Freedom Tribe is taking notes and that you are going to check these programs out if they apply to you, because man, you know what they say, like getting from point A to point B on your own can take a whole lot longer and with a whole lot more heartache than if you had a coach to push you along. Happen a lot faster, and you probably have a lot more growth during the process. So, you know, I'm a firm believer in coaches. I pretty much have a few of them myself, because whenever I need to do something, I literally just say, okay, who can coach me through this?
So
Because I'm
true.
like, you know what? I'm done with like trying on my own, because I usually just, it takes me too long, and it's just like my time really is very precious. So I'm
Mhm.
like, I think I'm just gonna coach.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's kind of funny. My friends are always laughing and teasing me about that, but I feel like it helps me to be a better person. You know, here's the deal. I feel like if LeBron James, who is the man, right? This guy, he's like top, you know, upper echelon of his craft. He is a high, I mean, when you talk about high performers, like extremely high performer. If that guy can have like all these coaches, like specific, he's like, oh, I have a coach for my jump shot. I have a coach for my free throws. I like, he has a coach for everything, a coach for how I'm eating, you know.
Yeah.
So if that guy can spend money and have like all these coaches and he's already at the top, I mean, come on. What about peons like us? Like, really? Like, why wouldn't we have a coach so we can go to the next level? You know, so that's kind of how I look at it.
Absolutely.
So,
Yes.
yeah, so hopefully you guys are all motivated to go get a coach. Oh, my goodness. Too funny. Wow. So we have had a fantastic conversation, and I mean, we can even go into all of the differences between Canada. Oh, here's a question. We should probably ask this question. So you're based in Canada. You're very familiar with the Canadian system. Do you work with physicians who are in other systems, like,
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
example, Aussie, for example, Australia or New Zealand or United States, UK, etc.
Yeah. So great question. So I was actually trained in Australia. I've been in Canada
Okay,
for 8
cool.
years. And more than half of the physicians in Charting Champions are from the States. So yeah, we help you. So the program does not include changing EMR or getting extra staff or seeing more or less patients. It's working with you where you're at right now, because it's you who can make the change. We can actually help you to get so much more efficient, even with the systems that you're working in right now. So yes, this is an international program.
Fantastic. That's even better. Fantastic. Cool. Yeah. All right. So we've had an incredible conversation, and you know, we are at that point in the show where we do our fill in the blank. So, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So the first one is, if I am fearless, I will.
Help thousands of physicians get home with their charting done.
Love it. Love it. And the next one is, to me, fearless freedom means.
Leaving the office with everything done.
Love it. Love it. And of course, last but not least, my battle cry is.
Create time for the things you love.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day and sharing with the Fearless Freedom Tribe. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. And, you know, I know that amazing things are going to continue to happen for you, for your business, for your family. And we really do appreciate all the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Awesome. You too.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Again, I'm Dr. G. And if you like this episode, be sure to subscribe so that you can get notified of when the next episode is going to be. And also, I'll catch you next time. Have a great one. Be strong, be brave, and unleash your greatness.